Welcome to the Garmin Talks Season 3, where we are now having a special guest, Sonia. She is a traveler, she is an athlete, and she is PhD. So let's just dive into it and just let's see how Garmin has changed her fitness journey and traveling journey as well. Hi Sonia, welcome to the
Hi, Dan.
podcast.
Thank you. Thank you very much for having me today.
Thank you so much for coming down here as well. So, Sonia, I want to understand from you a bit more that, since you're a traveler, how do
hmm
you manage your journey and adventures together, and how Garmin technology has changed and pivoted into this?
Absolutely. So it's true that I get a lot this question in the sense of how can you manage like to travel and to live your life and being an athlete and do all of these things at the same time. And the truth is that first of all, it's a matter of organization. And second of all, as you mentioned, having the right devices at the right time, in the right moment, and especially at the right place, it's key. It's a key element. And so far, I have to say that I've been extremely happy with Garmin. The devices have been with me like for so long everywhere I go, and it has always been super important to bring them with me. Yeah.
Amazing. So, since we have done some research and we have seen that, you
Yeah.
travel quite a lot.
Yeah.
So, again, how do you dedicate your time to fitness? Like, how do you get the time? Because
hmm
since most of us are very busy in our daily routines,
Yes.
they're not able to get the time. And Garmin has some special features that if you can elaborate, that helps you so
Yeah.
that, you can manage your time, your fitness regime, everything.
Absolutely. And I agree with you. So, first of all, as I said before, it's a matter of organization. So, the more organized you are, the best it is.
Sure.
It's true that Garmin app has a really amazing feature because you can, on the training side, you can definitely schedule your training, even like by week, by month. So, you are reminded automatically by the Garmin app itself what you have to do the next day. There's also, the fact that you have to be eager to train, even if you're traveling, even if you're busy. As I usually say, it's like we do all wash our teeth before going to bed or early in the morning.
Yeah.
And for me, so far, exercising, training, and sports has always been on the same level. If I don't exercise, I feel that something is missing. And actually, fun story because even my coach, yesterday actually, he was like, can you just stop for a moment? Like, you're too active. But it has always been part of my life. So,
Amazing. I
yeah.
think I can pick some of your
Yeah.
qualities. So again, we have again seen that, you are into diving as well.
Yes.
And since you are a Garmin user already, I'm sure that, there are some activities you do underwater diving as well. So again, how does that help you?
Oh, that helped me a lot because to be honest, I was using something else. So I started diving randomly in 2019, and then I loved it so much that I started going to some locations specifically to dive, like the past summer, last year as well, like around Micronesia and Polynesia, last summer, like around the Pacific Islands of Japan. And honestly, finding those amazing features in the Garmin devices has helped me a lot to understand how deep I am, how is my breath doing, how can I get better? Because once you analyze all the features and the elements and the key data that you have, you can only improve from them. So it's like having, a human, let's say, robotized device next to you. So it's amazing.
And if you don't mind me asking, what all devices and gears do you use while diving and doing your fitness journey?
Yes. So actually, many of them. So the Garmin watch, of course, that has been with me like for so long now. It's been like more than 4 years while I dive. And again, like it's really, really useful because it gives me so many information.
Sure. And what are the some most unforgettable locations that you have either dived or had some adventures or some any of the thing that
Yeah.
you remind and then you can recollect and then you were tracking in your watch or something? If you can just tell us about that.
Absolutely. So I would say around the Pacific Islands in general, then in South Africa, like around the coast of South Africa, South America, especially around Rio de Janeiro, Sao Paulo, like on the coast, Recife, Natal, because besides being a diver, I'm also a surfer. So it really helps a lot. Yeah.
And you said that, in general, you're a person who's very active, and your gym
Yeah.
trainer said as well that you are very active. What motivates you? Like, I'm sure there is a key motivator that, that makes you think that you always want to go to the gym.
Hmm.
Um, it can be anything. Like, so if we put more
Yeah.
highlight on that.
What motivates me, honestly, the love I have for myself and for my body. Yeah, I just think that exercising, it goes beyond having a healthy body. It's having a healthy mind. So that's what motivates me every single
And
day.
is Garmin playing the role into that?
Oh, absolutely. Look, absolutely. Yeah.
Anyways, moving on, just fitness and adventure can go to a very tough track,
Yeah.
because again, like, once one can be very motivated to go to the gym or keep themselves fit, but again, like, to sustain it is something that, is the key indicator and
Yeah.
something. So some key advices that you want to give it to the listeners that going to listen to
Hmm.
our podcast, that what could it be where, they can
Yeah.
be they can be fit, they can be motivated for the fitness, but again, sustainability is the key.
Absolutely. I would say, first of all, guys, if you wear a Garmin watch, the device itself will remind you if you're doing well or not, honestly. Because even sometimes, like, you cannot have the same motivation every single day. Of course, like, sometimes you're tired, sometimes you had like a tough day or you didn't sleep well. I mean, there are so many factors at the same time, right? So it's true that sometimes, like, I start running or I start my training,
Yes.
and the Garmin device, like the Garmin watch, is telling me, oh, you're not performing well. And again, like, it's kind of having a person next to you. So you want to say, okay, really? So you just go for it because
Yeah.
you want to train, you want to give your best. So in that sense, it's having like a training life partner for your whole life. That's what I love about Garmin. Yeah.
Sure. Now let's talk a little bit about diving, because see, we have a diving watch and there are people who are always interested to have
Yes.
the diving experience as well. So what will you give two key recommendation to people who are starting diving,
Yeah.
and they just want to they want to get into this diving as an adventure or passion?
Mm-hmm.
So what are the two recommendations that you'll give it to them?
The first one, I would say that wearing the right device definitely gives you all the information and the data you need to improve and to understand where probably you're lacking some information. For me, for instance, it was the breathing side. And I have to say that the Garmin device, like the watch, has helped me a lot, especially for the heart rate and how deep I was going. So I had so many datas about it and I loved it. And the second advice is to check very often your performance with the device, again, of the Garmin, to see like where you're at. And it
Sure.
goes like along with what I just said before. But it's, yeah, and not to go very deep, I would say at the beginning, but to start like slowly, like for even a matter of health, right? But yeah, definitely.
But correct me if I'm wrong, like in people who are starting very earlier, they are at the very initial phase. They again need to be go with one person who is
Absolutely.
experienced in
Until they get
driving.
the certification.
Correct.
And again, like there are national certifications, and then
Yeah.
you have the international one that takes a little bit longer, where actually you can dive in open water alone.
Sure.
So yeah, depending where you are, even if I had like the open water one, some places I do recommend to go with someone who really knows better. Also
Sure.
because we are not alone in the sea, in the ocean, right? So we always have to pay attention to that.
Perfect. Thank you so much for that.
Thank you.
Looking ahead, what are your future plan in both in fitness and in adventure? Since what sparked your passion? Because we have seen that you have traveled 95 countries so far.
Yeah.
I'm still counting on my fingers, but again, you have traveled so far 95 countries. I'm sure it must be, have an amazing experience and adventure.
It was, yeah.
So, what all there are some challenges that you must have faced. What were those?
For sure, there are challenges everywhere. Everywhere you go. So far, I'm lucky enough that it has not been the language itself. Speaking 8 languages, I think it helps quite a lot. But I have to see like challenges more on the weather. Last summer, I was like driving alone in Mongolia, and again, the GPS with Garmin helped me a lot because there was no internet, was nothing. So saving the route on my device helped a lot. But again, like there was a storm, so I couldn't go to the guest house, and like I had to sleep in the car. It was 2 degrees Celsius. Sometimes other challenges like are related to, to the governmental side,
Yeah.
or there are so many, but it's just like a matter of getting used to it and go with the flow and just accepting the moment.
I'm sure it's
Yeah.
challenging, but it's fun as well on the same side.
Yeah, they become anecdotes, at the end
Yeah.
of the day. And that's what makes that travel or that experience or a solo travel journey even more spicy. So you can, have a good memory about
Amazing.
Yeah.
I am also like, now motivated to travel some more
it.
countries.
Go.
So again, like just wrapping up thank you so much for giving us the detail and briefs that, about for your travel and journeys and adventures.
Thank you
Just
so
wrapping
much.
up, just wanted to understand from you that
Mhm.
what are your future plans into fitness and adventure,
Yeah.
and how new challenges and destination is something that you are excited to pick up more. See,
Yeah.
since you have already been very challenging and you have covered 95 countries,
Yeah.
I'm sure you are looking for one top notch and adding one more level up. What are those, and how are you planning on that?
Absolutely. So I've started my triathlon journey. Actually, in 2 weeks, I have my first triathlon. And fun
Amazing.
story. So I keep up with my running events. I do race weekly in the region. And like monthly, usually outside the UAE. So in 2 weeks so far, I'm running Salalah in Oman. And the next day, I'm flying back here because I have a triathlon. And then in 1 month,
Amazing.
another triathlon. So yeah, and then next year I will run Osaka in Japan. I am running Kilimanjaro in Tanzania, Roma, Milano, and then the Easter Island in Chile. So yeah, it's
It's a lot of adventures
a lot
already
of
coming.
challenges. So every time I travel, it's like, okay, training is part of the journey. Traveling is like, it goes with it. So it's a 360.
So, is there something, Sonia, that you would like to mention and you would love to say about the brand, since you are so long
Yes.
associated with the brand already?
Absolutely. So we are waiting for all of you on the 30th of November in Maidan for the Garmin Festival. So I'll see you there.
Thank you so much, Sonia, for coming down here
Thank
and
you.
just put some highlight on the key features and this thing, and taking us through your journey as well.
Thank you so much for having me. Thank you.